Hi, everybody. Thanks to Dan Kashud and Mento Fellini and Weird Paul. Take some more guitar, please. Try to see your parents more, cause they're so weak and old now, but they just can't let you live without always being told how. Then spend time with your child, be responsible and silent, but you lose it, then you know that you're a monster and a tyrant. It's family, so you call because you're too grown up to fume, but somehow you've hung up and thrown the phone across the room, cause you're a weakling and a loser, you just never get it right. Down from the way that you were raised to how your own home is tonight. These are the ones you love the best, so I said always such a mess. And what the hell's it for? Since you're rotten to the core, well, it's fun. It's just fun. Pick out someone friendly who romantically excites you. Start the hopeful dreaming of what if he or she likes you. Know that you could love them and build up a blissful fantasy that this is finally something and how good your lives would be, but then feel wretched when it's clear it's just your far-fetched dumb idea. Remember that you're lame and ugly, groan and cry. Why would they love me? Why even try to cope? And why even have hope? You're disgusting, that's for sure. So what's hoping for? Well, it's fun. It's just fun. Know your only joy would be a life of creativity, so never have a moment when you're actually at liberty. Live a life where friends or relaxation leaves you irking, cause it's wasting time with nonsense when you know you should be working. First see your glowing promise as an actor or a painter, then get honest, you're a hack who knows their glow is getting fainter. Then know your life's been total dirt and wish you could begin again. Then crumple one more worthless work and toss it in the bin again. You hung your head against the desk and suffered in the agony of coming face to face against that stuff that you can never be. It's lame and infantile, all this stupid useless trial. Frustrations and impatience and complete humiliation. You're just not fortunate, that's certain. So why this tortured screaming burden? Well, it's fun. It's just fun.
If we end up in your way, just let us know.
No. I could definitely use some guitar in the monitor because I can't really hear it, but as long as you guys are hearing it, that's okay.
You can hear it.
No? Getting any guitar out in the room there? Is it coming through these speakers? Yeah, okay. She buys $20 bottles of wine. Her tastes go $8 more than mine. Now what's so bad about the thoughts this brings? And what's $8 in the scheme of things? I gotta judge her not, lest I get judged myself when I see her looking through that $20 shelf. I'm just a bit confused on how this makes me feel. Is it a tiny dollar difference or a huge reveal? Is it just a circumstantial, meaningless decision? Or a fundamental barrier of class division? When I was a starving artist, I just couldn't know. I never asked, is that a Malbec or a Grigio? But I built a cool career up and now here we are. But the $20 shelf is still a bridge too far. 'Cause she likes $20 wine. She taps her credit card and signs the dotted line. Now what's so bad about the thoughts this brings? And what's $8 in the scheme of things? I gotta say, judge not, lest thou get judged thyself when I see her looking through that $20 shelf. She's quite a special lady and I'm glad we've met. It's so depressing texting strangers on the internet. Now we've had a couple dates and now we're buying wine. Now I'm finding out her planet's not the same as mine. I go $12 to $15 and I think that's nice. That just seems completely normal and I don't think twice. To me I'm living large, to her I'm living small. I mean, to me it just feels classy buying wine at all. But she likes $20 wine. Limited organic batches, that's a warning sign. You can say that I'm a recluse or a basket case, but this section of the wine store is a scary place. I gotta judge her not, lest I get judged myself when I see her looking through the $20 shelf. I would go $15, but at 16 I'd stop. And that's an $18 bottle, 'cause there's tax on top. In Manhattan or in Brooklyn or in Jackson Heights, I say that ought to be sufficient for romantic nights. But she ain't even considering my kind of bottle. What's she think, that I'm a star and she's a fashion model? I had thought, great, we can relate, I'll get a kid and a wife. Now for the sake of $8, I just can't see that life. 'Cause she likes $20 wine. I gave this my best shot, but I just can't keep trying. When you looked me in the eyes, I saw a life of love. Sharing $15 wine and not a buck above. I know they say judge not, lest thou get judged thyself. But the buck stops at the $20 and over shelf. She was creative, and she was brilliant, and she was looking fine. But a dating app should filter for fancy schmancy wine, pretentious wine, financial district wine. My broken heart is crying at the shelf of the fancy wine. $20 wine. I thought 12 was fine. I can see it in the eyes of the wine store clerk. I know he's thinking, this'll never work. Is that bass coming through? This is the cover of a Crass song. Jacob. I'm gonna need this center vocal up here. Thank you.
Check.
Yeah. I can use a little more of that over here. Well, we're gonna show you a special presentation at this point in the set. A little comic book that I drew on the screen over here. Well, we're passing through Pittsburgh on our way to New York City at the moment. So we'll tell you the story of somebody else who passed through Pittsburgh on his way to New York City. This is the life of Keith Haring. To Kutztown, Pennsylvania, in the east of the state, came the baby Keith Haring in 1958. He tried art school in Pittsburgh, but he didn't stay long. They taught how things were done right, except to him that felt wrong. He was gay, he was cool, he wanted sex, drugs, and art. He came to New York for school, where real adventures could start. He studied words and abstractions, funky patterns and lines. He wanted raw interactions, he saw language in signs. In small underground clubs, he organized crazy shows, parties where anyone's welcome, art nights where anything goes. He loved the world of graffiti, where being seen was essential. He tried ways to repeat it, using flyers or a stencil. The 1980 Times Square show was an art melting pot. Bronx and Brooklyn and Soho, young Keith and young Basquiat. Now Keith's art was reaching into clear lines and forms, where little people and creatures came in mysterious swarms. In 81 in New York, where subway ads were untaken, Keith started using white chalk to draw these forms he'd been making. And he made hundreds of drawings till the whole city could see it. And art for all kinds of people, not just inside a museum. Then he got to do animations on the big sign in Times Square. Keith's figures from the train stations were catching on everywhere. By 82, folks were paying just for his paintings from home. Galleries asked to display him where famous artists were shown. And when his galleries opened, these were exciting events, because from Warhol to breakdancers were all Keith's fans and his friends. And as his art spread all over through 1983, up shot this upstart from nowhere to art world celebrity. Now in his first long relationship with big money and press, Keith's hard work and sweet nature were not changed by success. And from the old Berlin Wall to every sculpture and kid, from giant murals to small, he'd never sketch what he did. But Keith's problem with fame was his art couldn't stay free. Now if he drew on a train, it got stolen instantly. So in 1986, he launched his pop shop art stores to keep his art in the public, not behind gallery doors. Also, unlike normal artists, he used brave, simple text to speak on AIDS and apartheid and crack and safe sex. But no one knew about safety back when Keith had been young. AIDS took him in 1990 when he was just 31. Keith's explosive short lifetime and bold, generous heart speak like an infinite fountain from some deep wellspring of heart. Today I went to Major Matt's to remaster my old album, and on the L train in the morning, I was kind of sure I saw Will Oldham. He was wearing the same sunglasses he had on stage at the Bowery Ballroom. Had he come to walk among the Williamsburgers of his kingdom, and like the burghers of Calais, will a sacrifice be demanded, to offer up our dreams and beg for mercy empty-handed, and hapless in our hipness, crowded 5 to an apartment, we'll relegate our dreams to hobbies and deny our disappointment. Cause the Stones in 65 want total satisfaction, kid, but the Stones in 69 see grace in just getting what you need. But if that's a victory, then I'd hate to see what I'd look like defeated. So I know there are those who walk among us who seem to get their dreams unimpeded. Like today, when I went to Major Matt's to remaster my old album, on the L train in the morning, I was kind of sure I saw Will Oldham. He was wearing the same rock star sunglasses he had on stage at the Bowery Ballroom. Had he come to walk among the Williamsburgers of his kingdom? You might say now there's a guy who seems to have the world laid out before him. Or Or you might say he's just a rich kid or a fascist or a charlatan. But either way you say it, if you look at indie rock culture, you really can't ignore him. And even if at first dismissive, after some listens you'll enjoy him. I was thinking this on the L train, intent on bursting my own bubble. How long should an artist struggle before it isn't worth the hassle? And admit we aren't fit to be the ones inside the castle. This quest for greatness, or at least hipness, just a scam and too much trouble. But that what makes one human being worthy of an easy ride. Born to be a natural artist, you love or hate but can't deny. While us minions in our millions tumble into history's chasm. We might have a couple laughs, but we're still wastes of protoplasm. Like today, I was gonna waste some time and money to remaster this stupid old album. And on the L train in the morning, I was positive I saw Will Oldham. He was wearing the same rock star sunglasses he had on stage at the Bowery Ballroom. Had he come to see the strife here in the gutters of his kingdom, where us noble starving artists are striving hard to feed our egos. Our mothers like our music and our friends come see our shows. And if our friends become successful, we'll consider them our foes. Go home to our 4 roommates after paying big bucks for rock star shows. What a nightmare, what a horror, I don't want no part of this. Just get me off this crazy ride. I'm gonna puke, I'm gonna piss, I'd rather kill myself. I'd rather just relax or not exist. But you say you wanna do an email interview, oh what the heck, I can't resist. Hey mom, guess what, today I did another magazine interview. Honey, that's great, you're really famous. Yeah, and I'm gonna be 42. I kinda thought I was gonna grow up to do stuff that would benefit humanity. But it's getting harder to tell if this artist's life is even benefiting me. Cause today I was gonna waste some time and money to remaster this dumb old album. And I saw, on the L train, I was sure I saw Will Oldham. You know, he was wearing the same rock star sunglasses he had on stage at the Bowery Ballroom. And since I was feeling in need of answers, I just went right up and asked him. I said, Will, Bonnie, Prince, Palace, whatever, what do you think about it? Is it worth being an artist or an indie rock star? Are you better off without it? Because you know, maybe the world would be better if we were all just uncreative drones. No dead childhood dreams to haunt us. A decent job, a decent home. And if we had some extra time, we could do real things to promote peace. Become scientists or history teachers or uncorrupt police at least. Come on, Will, you gotta tell me. I grabbed and shook him by the arm. The L train was leaving Bedford with 10,000 white 20-somethings crowded on. He was opening his mouth to speak, but was lost in the rumbling of the wheels. We were thrown together in a corner and I yelled, tell me man, for real, you're living comfortably I assume, even if you're not quite a household name. You've reached a pretty high level of success and critical acclaim. And the L train got to First Avenue and a bunch of people piled out. I was staring into his sunglasses and I was really freaking out. I was like, Steamboat Willie, Bonnie Prince, of all this shit, you're like the king of a certain genre, but even you must want to quit. Like if you hear a record by Bob Dylan or Neil Young or whatever, you must start thinking, people like me, but I won't be that good ever. And then I'm sure the thing is, probably even Dylan himself too stays up some nights wishing he was as good as Allen Ginsberg or Camus. And he's like, dude, I'm such a faker, I'm just a clown who entertains. These fools who have paid for my crap have pathetic, puny brains. And Camus probably wished he was Milton too, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So will you be straight with me? And now it's just us two on this train. So I was gonna spend some time and money today to remaster this dumb old album. And I saw you here on the L train, and I was like, hey, is that Will Oldham? He must at least have some perspective, because it's like living in this town, and I get so confused and wound up and uptight, and I just don't know up from down. Then we reached the last stop, and the subway was deserted. There was a long moment of silence, and I let go of his shirt. I started to think maybe I'd made some kind of big mistake. I tried to walk out onto the platform, but by then it was too late. His sunglasses seemed to grow darker, and still he hadn't even spoke. He just came right up behind me and put his hands around my throat and threw me down onto the concrete and kicked my face in with his boot and dragged me down onto the train tracks and tied my hands back with his coat. And I was slipping out of consciousness as he was slipping down my jeans, and he was punching me and humping me, and I slipped off into a dream. So it might have just been a delusion, but I thought I heard him say something like, artists are pussies. Then he climbed back up and ran away. So I lay there in the darkness on the train tracks, cold and broken. The hours passed and I thought, well, maybe I won't remaster that old album. Then I started thinking maybe it really wasn't even Will Oldham, even though he did hold my arms and fuck me, just like Will sings at a sucker's evening. But whether it was him or wasn't, I couldn't forget the words he'd spoken. Artists are pussies, like we're wusses, or we end up getting fucked. And other kinds of folks are dicks, tall, smart, and strong, and born to fuck us up. I know it sounds really terrible, awkward, sexist analogy, but at that moment there on the train tracks, it made a lot of sense to me. Maybe it's just some kind of natural balance, like two types of mental gender that's gone on in all societies in one form or another. Like some dicks were born to conquer. I probably would if I could, but if I'm just a pussy, that's okay, because in a few months maybe I'll put out something good. This is a song about records and about vinyl records, about cheap vinyl records, about cheap classic rock vinyl records, and how that was my gateway drug to a lifetime of musical addiction. This song is about how I got the disease for LPs. I don't know how it started, I suppose it was about the 10th grade. I had never bought much music, I just listened to whatever was played. But there was classic rock there on the radio and it was blowing my mind. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry. Is that guitar sounds way too loud from where I'm standing.
Sounds good.
Sounds good from over here. That can come down on the monitor a bit. Our apologies. We'll get this. How's that? How you guys? It's all right. Jacob, I could definitely get it down in this wedge because that's No can do. All right. Well, here we go. We forge ahead nonetheless. A song about records. I don't know how it started. I suppose it was about the 10th grade. I had never bought much music. I just listened to whatever was played. But there was classic rock there on the radio, and it was blowing my mind. It was all the records no one wanted now, so they were easy to find. So I started getting LPs. They only cost a little, and these LPs were all the ones I needed from the 60s with psychedelic art on all the red sleeves, much cooler and much cheaper than the CDs, and that's the way I got the disease. I got the disease for LPs. There wasn't any internet, a lot of times you just took a shot. Pretty soon you figured out which records would be awesome or not. If the year was from the 60s, it was probably good bang for your buck. If the year was from the 80s, it was guaranteed to totally suck. I started learning about the LPs, and that's an education just cost low fees. $3 for the Stillin' record, oh yes please. I've been creaming Rolling Stones and Arlo Guthries. A giant treasure trove was all for pennies, and that's the way I got the disease. I caught the disease for LPs. By 1994, I had completed all my Zeppelin and Floyd. a special presentation here for our old friends from the Lower East Side. This is a piece we like to call the complete history of the development of punk rock on the Lower East Side of New York City from 1950 to 1975. And we dedicate this to what would have been the 100th birthday of Harry Smith this year. Because we start with Harry Smith in 1950, a beatnik weirdo living in New York City. His huge collections were insane of Easter eggs and paper airplanes, and rare records. He had about 1,060,000. To change America through music was his hope, and to make some money because he was broke, he compiled a triple-decker collection of songs from his records, released as the Smithsonian Anthology of American Folk. On a Monday morning, just about 9 o'clock, the great ship Titanic began to reel and rock. Husbands and wives, little children lost their lives. Wasn't it sad when that great ship went down? Smith's plan began to work as foretold. This weird music began to take hold. It sparked an interest in these forms of life underground from the norms, and soon millions of folk records were being sold. So by the early 60s, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes were all inspired by those old folks. Then one strange duo of downtowners called the Holy Modal Rounders began to make it more anarchistic with weird voices and drug jokes. Mom's out there switching in the kitchen, and Dad's in the living room browsing on a bitchin'. I'm out here kicking the gun for euphoria, euphoria. When your mind starts reeling and walking, your inside voice starts wheeling and squawking, floating around on a belladonna cloud singing euphoria. That was 1964. Then in 1965, Lou Reed and John Cale in a Ludlow Street Dive recorded a similar musical spin, sounding a bit like the Rounders' acoustic and violin, with even more New York street drug jive. Hey white boy, what you doing uptown? Hey white boy, you chasing our women around?
Pardon me, sir, nothing could be further from my mind. I'm just waiting for a dear, dear friend of mine.
I'm waiting for the man. And a little earlier, in 1965, the Holy Modal Rounders had met some other intellectual thugs on East 10th Street who called themselves the Fugs. The Fugs were recorded by that same Harry Smith, playing the punkiest songs yet to exist. Lo-fi noisy stuff about poetry, sex, and drugs. I don't have a bedtime, I don't need to come, for I have become an amphetamine bum. If you don't like sleeping and don't want to screw, then you should take lots of amphetamine too. Amphetamine, 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 amphetamine. Well, the Fugs recorded 2 sessions that year, including Tuli Kuferberg's fantastic song, Nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday and Thursday, nothing. Friday for a change, a little more nothing. Saturday, once more, nothing. A 5 gig, nothing. Sucking, nothing. Flesh and sex, nothing. The world's great books are a great set of nothing. Social anthropology, I collected nothing. Nothing, nothing. Lots of it. Nothing, nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
The Fugs were real poets with real topics to speak out, and through the new underground scene, this weird music could leak out, beginning the punk idea that anybody could do it without needing much musical ability to it, and this new crazy music was soon labeled freak out. In 1966, the Fugs signed to New York label ESP. The same label put out a freak out band called The Gods, spelled with a Z. The Gods accomplished the feat of making even the Fugs music sound sweet, with the least musical folk punk racket in history. Meow, meow, meow. It really sounded exactly like that. Far from the West Coast hippie scene, New York's underground music was far from mainstream. It was intellectual, but noisy and hectic. And then the Velvet Underground went electric and made folk punk more beautiful and more extreme. York's strange folk punk tide. In 1968 came David Peel onto the Lower East Side. They recorded an album out in the street, screaming and sloppy. Danny Fields signed them to Elektra Records and sold a lot of copies with songs like I Like Marijuana and Up Against the Wall, Motherfucker, Inside. Mother, oh, where is my father? Oh, where is my brother? They're at war. They're at war. You made them join the dirty U.S. Army. You told them all a filthy white lie. You gave them all the bullshit and baloney. And now my brother and my father gonna have you die. And the Stooges were a freak-out band in Detroit, but folks ignored them until Danny Fields brought them to New York and had John Cale of the Velvets record them. While most acid rock was turning into progressive, the Stooges instead pushed the raw and aggressive, and Iggy Pop sang about degradation and boredom. All right. Well, it's 1969, okay. War across the USA. It's another year for me and you. It's another year with nothing to do. It's another year for me and you. Another year with nothing to do. Well, it's 1969, baby. Well, it's 1969, baby. Well, in 1970, David Peel's second album came with some amazing songs and some a little lame. In most pre-punk histories, David Peel is forgot because he was a hippie singing lots of songs about pot. But his second album is the first album with the real sound that electric punk rock soon became. We are from the Lower East Side. We don't give a damn if we live or die. We are from the Lower East Side. We don't give a damn if we live or die. And even though it was a few years before this was something the Clash would also do, this album had a song that mixed punk with reggae, the great song I Want to Kill You. 1, 2, 3, 4. You called the people of the future generation. You called the people in a world of aggravation. You called the people in a life of demonstration. We got to change the world before annihilation. Gonna get a rifle and I'm gonna get a gun. I am out to kill you and I'll have a little fun. I am out to murder you, I'm going to attack. I am out to kill you, you're the monkey on my back. Oh, I want to kill you. Kill, kill, kill. I want to kill you. Kill, kill, kill. And in 1971, Lester Bangs first writes the word punk to describe 60s enthusiastic teenage rock junk. In 1972, New Yorker Lenny Kaye puts out the 60s garage rock comp Nuggets and coins the phrase punk rock in the liner notes of it, although punk rock would soon come to mean something different from the 60s pop songs that Lester and Lenny thumped. Like this one. Well, I feel depressed, I feel so bad. 'Cause you're the best girl that I've ever had. I can't get your love, I can't get affection. Oh, little girl, psychotic reaction. And it feels like this. And Lenny Kaye was also a guitarist, and he began playing music with an East Side poet named Patti Smith, who would use it to mix her wild poetry with simple rock stuff, like the Fugs in a way, but less rough, a postmodern way to take high art and low art and fuse it. Time out story. Ding dong, they joy. 1972-73 is when the New York Dolls start, mixing trash and drag fashion with the rock and roll heart. The Johnny Thunders' David Johansen sound mixed the old-style simple rock with the new New York underground and sort of defined the moment when stupid on purpose became the new smart. Began punk fashion as well, with spiked hair and ripped clothes worn by the poet Richard Hell. Hell was in television, the Neon Boys, the Heartbreakers, the Voidoids, and he wrote the song that gave the new 70s punk generation its first anthem, Yell. I was screaming, get me out of here, before I was even born. It's such a gamble when you get a face. It's fascinating to observe what the mirror does, but when I die, it's for the wall that I set a place. What if I've wasted all my youth? What if I've wasted growing up? What if I've wasted my whole life? Oh man, I feel like throwing up. It's an anxiety attack. An anxiety attack. I've got a bad case of the horrors, and at night it comes back. First I look back at my week, then I look back at my 1, 2, 3, 4. The misfits are called rock and roll, worshipped by a few, but ignored on the whole. Meet the Divas, a film called classic. It's basically unknown, but some say it's fantastic. Most women that I meet seem totally unfazed, till sometimes there's somebody who seems totally amazed. I might not be in magazines as a heartthrob face, but in a few devoted hearts I found a strong fan base. I'm a cold boyfriend, not a mainstream show. I'm lonely or I'm worshipped by a lady in the know. When you're a cold boyfriend, life is always intense. They love me or they hate me, no one's on the fence. Sarah Based is a cult comic book series. It's got fans, but it's never found in movies or in theories. WFMU is a cult radio station, always tuned to by a few devoted fans around the nation. For every time I couldn't get a second date or even first one, is one think I'm the best when all the rest think I'm the worst. For all of those times, no one at all wanted to know if I'm really all that awesome. Wouldn't more women think so? I guess cold boyfriend is the term for me. It's always been quality, not quantity. A cold boyfriend's like a record in a bargain bin. No one knows its worth till a collector comes in. Who are some cold literary names I can honor? Maybe J.G. Ballard or Flannery O'Connor. Haggis and fugu, that's like food for cold eaters. Jim Jones, Father Yod, Charles Manson, they're cold leaders. Anyway, the point being, do we have to be magical? Can we date a few months then move on, normal and casual? Suicidally alone and then totally smothered. It's so much pressure when you go from one extreme to the other. I guess cold boyfriend is the term for me. It's always been quality, not quantity. A cold boyfriend's like a record in a bargain bin. No one knows its worth till the collector comes in. I'm a cold boyfriend, not a mainstream show. I'm lonely or I'm worshipped by a lady in the know. When you're a cold boyfriend, life is always intense. They're in love or they're indifferent, no one's on the fence. And this song probably ain't gonna go very far beyond an open mic. It's guaranteed, though, to be the sort of thing 2 or 3 people really like. Thanks, we'll show you another little comic book thing that I drew here on the screen. Because it's almost Halloween, we're gonna have to show you it's basically, well, it's my attempt at making a low-budget horror film. It's very scary, made for the budget of a couple of boxes of crayons. This is called The Creeping Brain. There was a creeping brain and it got larger every single passing world for 2 p.m. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. The curtains parted and the world gasped as it approached the microphone and said, but him, creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. Ladies and gentlemen, good to meet you, don't be alarmed. Hello, I am the creeping brain. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. No doubt by now, most all of you will have read the news reports and seen the films. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. About how much of America I've destroyed and the untold millions I have killed. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. I apologize for all of that. I'm wiser now and I have some new ideas. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. Let's all learn to live together in mutual trust and respect and put aside our fears. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. So the brain departed us and gently made its wise way to the ocean. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. For many years it rested there and happily would answer any question. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. When the brain grew old and died, the whole world mourned and joined to mark its noble grave. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. And each year we all hold hands and think kind thoughts of mankind's friend, the creeping brain. Creeping brain, creeping brain, creeping brain. Thanks, we'll do a few more. Fighting for survival is such a boring battle. I want to get into my car, I want to drive out to Seattle, where the used record stores have much better prices. But I don't have a car and I don't have a license. Should I take another walk to the DMV? Get another learner's permit with a picture of me? I'd put it in my wallet along with my $4 and the condom that's still in there that has probably expired. I'd leave home for New York, but New York is where I'm from. I'm just looking for a way to feel my life has begun. Living in the city where I'm working like a walrus, but I don't need your money, man, I'm gonna be an artist. Feeling like I wanna do whatever I feel inside. Put it all on paper and I'll hope that people buy it. And my only minor worry now is how to pay the rent. But that won't even matter when I've lost my apartment. I'll really have no worries, I'll be just like a cassette that you've taped up the tabs of to put something new on it. And when I hit record, God only knows what I will be. And if there is no God, then it's a better mystery. Fighting for survival, but I guess I must be winning. And my story is so long I can't remember the beginning. But am I an optimist or am I a pessimist? If I see that half full, half empty cup is half full of nothingness. That's Mallory Foyer on the keyboard and the violin of the Grasping Straws band. That's Isabel Martin on the bass of the Jupiter Boys. That's Brent Cole on the drums of the Candy Boys. thinking. It was a different way of working and thinking. Really wild and completely expressive. So creative and intense and obsessive. You were practically completely beyond it. And you were exactly just what nobody wanted. You were conscious and responsive and present. You weren't trying to make something unpleasant. You were just bouncing off of things that were trashy. And it was never very tricky or flashy. You had a vision that was clear and directed. And the ways it worked were all unexpected. You were unbelievable and you were undaunted. And you were exactly just what nobody wanted. But to me, it was so awesome, so awesome, so awesome. So awesome, so awesome, just awesome. It was like a focusing of what had been brewing. It did a thing that no one else had been doing. You were small to see what made this or that tick. Then you flipped it over so it all seemed galactic. It was crazy, but you really believed it. You gave it everything and lived it and breathed it. You made a space where all these good things collided. Animated approximately no one excited. It's hard to speak about the stuff you invented. It was unique in how it all got presented. It hit the mark and never stopped going forwards. Out of the darkness with no signs and with no words. Just spoke a language that was instant and brutal. And it made all the art around it seem futile. You did it well and you could even repeat it. And that was exactly just what nobody needed. But to me, it was so awesome, so awesome, so awesome. You were so awesome, so awesome, just awesome. A long time waiting and leaving, and that's a good clear faith to believe in. On their knees, dealing an ankle, where the light waves wiggle and tangle. So if someone else had all your same concentration, they still couldn't reach your same destination. There's really something anywhere you look closely, but a lot of it can come or go mostly. But when something really cuts away the pretenses, when something really takes a swing for the fences, when something really knocks it out of the borders and rearranges all the usual orders, that's exactly what the track you were on did. And it was exactly just what nobody wanted. A berserk season brought it in and receded. You were so perfectly what nobody needed. It pushed as far as you could make an idea go. And it exactly made an impact of zero. And basically the public never responded. You were so basically what nobody wanted. I held on tight to every scrap that I took in. But it's like it all happened when nobody was looking. But to me it was so awesome, so awesome, so awesome. You were so awesome, just awesome. one more Lower East Side story, a tale of New York City as we're heading back home, and also another scary, spooky Halloween tale. Once upon a sofa stretching, while I sat there, idly kvetching, over many a lame and schmaltzy show of television dreck, till I made a wise decision and said, enough with the television, when from my fire escape there flew a pigeon looking for a peck. There's just some flying schnorrer, surely, looking for some crumb to peck. Only this, so what the heck? Inside my Lower East Side dwelling, while up the street some yutz was yelling, for how long there was no telling, while this pigeon pranced about, till, perched upon my icebox stewing, sat this bird, not even cooing. This pigeon, what does he think he's doing? He's just a pain right in my neck. One claw curled like a ratner's rugula, with beak for cocked and feathers for schluggina. Oi, I said, this bird's meshuggina, flying right inside like this. You see, my walk-up's nothing fancy. What makes you do this thing so chancy? Shoo, fly back out to Delancey. Unless you'd care now to discuss this. What reason do you have for coming, if you care now to discuss this? Quoth the pigeon, Bupkis. Schmuck, I said, thing of cirrus, flying rat, local or tourist, my icebox must hold something for us to satisfy you and send you off to flap. Some old leftover Leshko's latka, or a bissela of Moisha's babka, a matzo ball, a drop of vodka, a lekun or schmeck, some little snack. What nosh here can we please you with? Instruct us. Quoth the pigeon, Bupkis. So, turning off the Jimmy Kimmel, I spun a dreidel and scored a gimmel and said, let's go to Yonah Schimmel. Surely there on Houston Street you can find a snack or 10. You must just want some nice knish to make you fly away again. Or sollst du stoppen and took us a rem. Cause what's for you here? Condos soar. Old skies you flapped through are no more. Mom and pop shops you crapped on have closed the store. And Citicorp won't take your dreck. So, wasn't game. Old days gone by. Nest now the Bronx or Bedford Stuyve. Schlep off East Side Schlemazel Bird to Flushing or to Little Neck. Gai bare de Vansen, gai back. But the pigeon, I ain't kidding, still is sitting. Sometimes on the counter shitting, staring beak first at the fridge. And his eyes have all the chutzpah of a macher as he struts around and treats me like a putz. Oh, this was sugar off toy pidge. So, we stay here, two old East Side klutzes. I'm still futzing, he still futzes. Me and this kachleffel pidge. And we'll be happy with what life has ungestoppt us. Bupkis.